You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi everyone, and welcome to our fourth and final part of our West of Scotland Football League First Division 2022-23 season preview right here on SM Media. I'm Scott McKeown. It's a pleasure to be your host as always. In the final part of our preview, we are going to take a look at the following four clubs: Shotts Bon Accord, St Roch, Blantyre Victoria and Thorniewood United. For Shotts, we spoke to their manager John McKeown about their hopes and ambitions for the season ahead as they look to claim promotion to the Premier Division. St Roch, who are undergoing a restructure under new manager Davie Greig following our tragic events of last year. We spoke to Davie Greig about his plans going into his new club and their hopes for the season ahead. Blantyre Victoria, they're hoping to claim promotion to the Premier Division after being relegated last season. We spoke to their manager John Gibson about their ambitions for this season. And Thorniewood United, and we spoke to their manager Jamie Nesbitt about their plans for this season. Let's get started. Let's look at Shotts and their manager John McKeown. So we're delighted to be joined by the Shotts manager John McKeown. John, it's a pleasure to welcome you on. Thanks for joining me.
No worries, thanks for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. How you been?
Aye, okay, busy.
It's busy. It's a busy time. Obviously, we'll touch on last season, second in the Conference A, obviously getting into the First Division. It was always going to be hard to kind of catch Arthurlie, but overall a really good season.
I probably a wee bit better than we'd expected. We'd obviously had the year out of COVID, we'd lost quite a lot of important players and stuff like that. And we managed to get, Danny had moved on, we managed to get him back again from Gap Care, and they came in and banged in the goals, but we'd lost a few others and it was difficult, but we started pretty slowly and then we kind of found our form. But to be fair, Arthurlie were just relentless and deserved champions. If they went unbeaten, they were excellent, and we just couldn't stay on their shirt tails for long enough. We done okay up until maybe the start of April time, and then after that we realised that we just couldn't catch them. To be fair, and after the cup game, we fell away a wee bit. But no, we had a decent season, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you mentioned there obviously Danny Burns, who's joined Stirling. How pleased are you for him to kind of seal that move to senior level?
Yeah, I am delighted for him. It's a great opportunity for him. He's banged in the goals consistently for years, so fair play to him.
Yeah, it's a really good move. So how's the kind of turnaround been, John? Obviously for last season, it's been probably shorter than most before COVID. Like, what's it been like to kind of get the players back and kind of get some players in?
I'm not going to lie, it's been the most difficult close season pre-season I've had as a manager. That's the truth. There's a number of reasons for that. We've cut our budget, and other clubs are obviously increasing our budget. It's not just always about money, but it's been really, really hard to recruit players, and I found it difficult. But just need to keep working hard and work through that. It seems to be every year it's getting tougher. The clubs are all progressing, which is great to see at our level and developing, and we've got to try and keep up with that, and we're trying to do a lot of work now off the park and committee level to stay with it. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, what about the kind of players you brought in so far? Are you kind of happy with the business you've done?
I feel I need more. We've brought in quite a lot of young kids, which isn't ideal with the league we're going into. That's truth be told. We need to go and get a couple of experienced players, but I think it's the most I've ever been on the phone and hassling people and talking to players. I think I must have approached over 100 players this year. It's just so difficult to keep up with what's out there, which that's just part and parcel of being a manager now. It's getting tougher, as I said, but no, I don't think we're finished our business yet. We can't afford to be. We're not anywhere near close enough, in my opinion.
What's pre-season been like? How's it been good to get some games under your belt?
It's been good to get the boys playing again, definitely, and get the fitness and stuff. But I think most managers will say the same thing, with the league being brought forward now the last few seasons to July starting. I mean, guys who are teachers, or their wives are teachers, or their kids are off school, it's just stop-start. You can't get a settled team in pre-season. I see there's loads of teams cancelling friendlies and stuff like that. And we've been close to doing it ourselves a few times, but we just got through it. It's just because people are away on holidays, plain and simple. After COVID, a few years without holidays, it's natural that people are going to go away. So you just need to accept it and take it in the chin. And we've not had basically a full defence for most of our games, and we've had guys playing that position and stuff like that. But you just need to do it and work on the ones that are there, and hope that it all comes together for the first few games.
Yeah, absolutely. We've mentioned as well with most people we spoke to just how competitive this league is, with 7 coming down from the Premier Division and the second, third and fourth of the conferences. It's going to be a tough league, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it. It's going to be an exciting league, but it's going to be really, really difficult, as you said there yourself. There's loads of quality coming down and there's quality coming up as well. And it's just really, really hard to predict it and see where it's going to go. Every game's going to be absolute cutthroat. You know, I don't think you can look at any game and go, oh, they'll win that, no bother. It's just going to be so tightly contested, you know.
Mm-hmm. What about the kind of overall target for yourselves? Like, what's the ambitions for the season? Where do you see the club finishing?
Well, I'm always ambitious and want to finish as high as I can. I mean, I think I said last year, I just want to just go and compete, and that's the case again. The club have obviously stated with the financial restraints we have compared to most other clubs. We're just looking to stay up, but I just know that would frustrate the life out of me, just thinking that we're going to have a relegation battle. That's just not for me. I want to go and try and win every game and take it as it comes. I'm not going to get carried away expectation wise, because I said we have signed quite 3 or 4 players now for under 21 football, so I'm just going to need to be patient with them. And keep adding and maybe big steal and borrow and loan some players from other levels, but hopefully we get there.
Well, we're wishing you all the best for the season ahead, John. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Right, thanks a lot, mate. Cheers, thanks.
So we're delighted to be joined by the St Roch's manager, Davie Greig. Davie, it's a pleasure to welcome you on to the show. Thanks for coming on.
All right, Scott, nice to meet you. No problem, mate.
How are you? How are you settling into the new job?
Aye, it's all right. Just everything seems a bit rushed at the moment, but it's okay.
Obviously, it's been a difficult, year or so for the club. Obviously, losing Paul. What's it been like? How are you getting on with the club as well? And how's the atmosphere around the club? Is it good getting into the new season?
It is, it's like new committee and stuff like that as well. It's been a lot of changes. But what happened last year was tragedy, you know, and just with Paul, it was just so sad. What a man!
No.
What a guy!
Yeah, absolutely.
What a man! That's out of football and everything else. He was just irreplaceable. You know what I mean? But I think when Andy came in, I think it was the right choice. It was logical for Andy to take a job, because the change in the club since Andy's been there, and like just for myself going through this season, just try to follow up on what Andy and Paul have done. It was so difficult, you know. But I thought Andy done terrific last year, and what he done with the club. But losing Paul was tragedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a sad year, but we'll talk about a bit. Obviously, you getting back into football. How much are you enjoying being back in the game?
I'm enjoying training. I'm enjoying the games. The rest gets a pain in the arse. I forgot so much a sore head it was, but no, it's all right. Like I'm saying, it just feels a bit rushed now, but maybe need to have a wee step and have a breath and go again. But yeah, no, it's good fun. It's good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, last season, St Roch's finished 4th, a remarkable achievement when you consider obviously what happened. Like, what's been your kind of thoughts when you went in with the squad? Are you kind of happy with how they've been and how they've kind of took to you and things like
that? I think so. I think so. It's obviously we've lost a few players, bulk of the team for last year, but we've still got a nucleus, a good side there, and we just need to build on that, and we'll do okay.
Yeah.
There's some quality boys there, so it's no problem. I was watching them playing last year anyway, so
yeah.
I think most of them knew me, maybe don't know me personally, but they know me, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, definitely as well. What's pre-season been like? How have they been how's the team been getting on?
I've been doing all right. It's like I'm saying, everything seems a bit rushed, but boys are working hard. They're getting on all right. We've had a couple of games. In the games, it's just, you know yourself at pre-season, it's like nothing will matter to everything kicks off in a couple of weeks. But to be fair, they're working hard as much as anybody else. They're working hard, but it's I'm pleased with them. So we're doing okay. The games have been different challenges in the games. In the 3 games that we've had, 1-1, lost 1, drawn 1. The results don't, at this stage, it don't matter. I mean, it just starts for a week Saturday.
Yeah,
so.
Saturday the 30th. Yeah. What about the kind of some of the players you brought in? What's who you been kind of bringing in so far this season to add to the squad?
But do you know what? We've not managed to, the way it is this time of year with holidays and other things that people get on in their life. We've not managed to get everybody in at the same time. So we're hoping that'll improve this week. With a couple coming in. So Big Paul Brennan back. Who else? Rab Maguire's missed a couple of games. Well, all sorts of guys have been missing games at times. But Rab Maguire's been here and there. They've been excellent. Big Chalky, Starkey. But when we get everybody in, we'll have a decent side. It's just getting them all together. Then we just holidays, work, and I'm saying things that happen in people's personal lives. So no, we're all right.
Obviously, as well, the thing with this season with the First Division with teams, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th for each conference, and obviously 7 coming down, it's a very competitive league. Would you agree with that?
It's an incredibly hard league. Compared to the conferences last year, this league's exceptional because you get the boys who have come down for even just the team's disappointed going down for that Premier League, but even some of the experience of playing in it, they'll be looking to build and they'll try and get back there. So it's going to be a really, really tough league, and then you're in with everybody else. It was 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So it'll be tough for the very start, but it'll be tough for everybody. You know what I mean? I know that people are saying about this team and that team, but for anybody to go on in big, long, extended runs this year, it'll be very difficult. It's but exciting and good with some good teams coming to plays, and I will certainly be up for a challenge for that. But it'll be really, really fun.
It's a very kind of big atmosphere as well when you go to St Roch. So you kind of relying on the fans to be big for you this season.
I think they have been. I think because it takes me way back to Andy, Stevie Mullen and Andy coming into the club there and what they've built in that time, the last 10 years, incredible. You know, you sometimes you go up there with the support. What a support they carry, and even they've been fantastic. And I used to say to Andy when Andy was a manager, "Did you see me in the game?" And he's like, "No," and I say, "That's because there's 400 people there." So with the support that's there, it's we want to get them something that they want to watch. They want to see their team working hard. But what Andy and Stevie, Paul, and then Paul coming in, me personally, I think these guys are irreplaceable for what they've done. It's absolutely incredible what they've done, and I don't think you could. We're building that support up for it's for what they've done in the community with the club and everything else. So, and the community's backed them. So, hopefully they continue to be there this year, and hopefully they give the boys the same backing that they've gave the teams in the past. But I know for a fact the boys will work their socks off for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Final question: what's your kind of overall target for the season with St Roch? What's the kind of league position? What's your thoughts on it? Where are you hoping to finish?
The same as everybody else at the top. It's always a good question. What you hope for the season? All you can really do is plan for the first game, because anything could happen. You know, anything can happen this season, as you've seen what happened last year with St Roch. But anything can happen this season. So all you can do, everyone just focus on the first game, and we're away to Atlas, and it'll be really, really tough.
Yeah,
game down there and the travel and all that. So that's all I really can think of. But if you're looking for everything else, we're looking for world domination. But we can't plan for that. We can only plan for the first game, and wherever it'll take us, it'll take us. Leagues never lie.
Davie, it's been an absolute pleasure, and best of luck for the season ahead.
Cheers, Scott. Now I need to try and work it out to turn this thing off.
So it's a pleasure to welcome onto the show John Gibson, the Blantyre manager. John, thanks very much for coming on. It's a pleasure.
No problem, Scott. I appreciate you asking me again.
Brilliant. How are we?
I'm good. Had pre-season, working hard in pre-season. We've had to change a few things, lost a few players. So pre-season's been hard, and in between close season was hard as well, trying to get the players in. But it's constant. Every manager will tell you the same, eh? It's like a full-time job sometimes. Every manager will say the same. They're at it hard, trying to get the right players in.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we'll touch on last season quickly. Obviously, it was a tough ask to get to keep the team up in the Premier Division with 7 going down. But what was your kind of overall reflections in last season?
I just think we weren't good enough. And listen, I hold my hands up. Some of the players I brought in weren't good enough, and we just didn't gel quick enough. I think the COVID did a lot to do with it. It was one of the ones you bring them back and work really hard, or do you take your time? I was feared of picking up injuries. We worked them too hard in pre-season, and it just never worked. So I take the blame for some of that no working. I think a few bad decisions and just not getting the right personnel in. And listen, I was confident at the start of the season. I thought I'd done it, but a good mix, a good blend and a good mix. But listen, it was only really maybe in November when I started to try and change things around a wee bit. We started to pick momentum up just after Christmas. I picked some good players up. But listen, it's a learning curve for us. It was a time you had to hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. That was it. You had to hit the ground running. If you never, you were going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's been a quick turnaround since last season as well. How have you been finding kind of a quick summer and getting everything in shape for the new season?
Listen, I think that's what you're used to. Whereas the last couple of years we weren't used to that. So I think that's what we're used to. So you're back into the norm. You've only got 6 weeks again and we're back in it. So that was a good thing. So it was for me. And then we're back in it, and I've worked hard to get some good players in and young players and trying to get that nice blend that you need. So you do. And again, believing in your young players and giving them the chance to go and flourish. And that's what we've got. Listen, make no mistake, that's what we're going to have to do. And listen, budgets can always show you what you can get in. So I just work within the budget I'm given.
Yeah, absolutely as well. We'll talk a wee bit about your kind of transfer activity so far. What's been kind of the main signage you brought in?
Listen, it's mostly young boys. Probably the best ones. I've got Nadine Zeb back for Athol we had before. Yeah. So that was a good one. That was a big one for me. And the re-signing of my captain, Dale Jones, Scott Gibson, Scott Jarvie, and that. So they were key to keep them because that's a wee bit of experience you need. So I've only kept 5, so I did. So the rest all were leaving anyway. So we pushed the boat out to keep these players, and that's what we were looking for.
Yeah, obviously as well. What's the kind of pre-season games been like? Have they been good learning curves for you?
Done all right. Yeah, we've done all right. You can't do. Petersall beat us. We beat Forth, and we've had 2 good results. So we beat Bath on Saturday, and we beat Pollock last night. That was a good result for us last night. Beat Pollock 4-1, so that was a good result, especially for the young boys' point of view to see where they are. You know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely. Obviously as well with the kind of the quick turnaround in players, and obviously the competitiveness of the league. Is it fair to say that this is a really tough league this year?
Oh, definitely. Listen, I think they're all tough leagues because you're in now a group of teams now that that's where you know where you are. So everybody's a good standard, and that's the standard you're at. All the teams in the Premier League, that's their standard. Now we're dropped out in the First Division. Everybody's much of the same, so it'll be a really competitive league. And when you get down to the second, now you're getting the competitive leagues. I don't think you had that last year in the conferences, and I think it showed in some of the results and how much teams just ran away with it. So you've got that now. We're at a good mix and a good fix.
Yeah, obviously as well. How much are you kind of looking forward to getting back to the real action?
Listen, I always look forward to it. So I do. It's always good to get back in and get your routine going again and getting the games in and week to week, and then building on the week and then getting the game on the Saturday. So it's always good. I always look forward to it.
Brilliant. If I was to give you an overall target for the season, what would you be happy with?
Listen, we always set targets. You always keep that within your dressing room. But listen, the target we set is to try and finish in the top half of the league, especially with the turnaround we've had the young players. If I keep this team maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years, the same as I've done before with a group of players, if you keep them, then we'll be no bad in a couple of years' time.
Brilliant. We're wishing you all the best for the season, John. Thank you very much for coming on. It was a pleasure.
No problem, Scott. Thanks very much.
So it's a pleasure to welcome on the Thorniewood United manager, Jamie Nesbitt. Jamie, it's a pleasure to welcome you on the show. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me, mate.
It's an absolute pleasure. How are you?
Aye, well. a bit red for last night's game. I don't take to the sun very well, but I'm doing good, mate.
It's a really warm time we're living in just now, but we'll touch a bit on last season. Obviously, a fourth place finish in the conference has got you into the First Division. It must have been really good to get that finish and get into the First Division.
Aye, phenomenal. We just kind of set out saying, let's go and compete, see what we can do. If we can get one league promotion, then that'll be brilliant, because obviously we were in the second division of the juniors, so that was always the aim when we first went into Thorniewood. And then as it goes on and goes on, and you're winning and winning and winning, you think, right, we have got a real chance of doing this. And I think that it kind of hit me the day we went into Renfrew. We drew one each with Renfrew. I kind of thought, right, if we win our next few games, we're going to seal this. So it became kind of quite a reality at that point. It became the target. Then, you know what I mean? That was the target. That was the goal. And we weren't going to. I think the boys kept saying that the Thorniewood juggernaut. I think they kept putting in Twitter and stuff like that. I stopped doing that. But it was just like we just kept rolling on week after week, mate. So really, really good, and really proud of all the boys, because a lot of the boys had been at clubs that had been kind of promotion or tinkering with championship level, and then never got a contract, and we managed to get them, and they've kicked us on and got us there. So really good, mate.
Brilliant. Obviously, as well, one of the big players last season was Ali Small. How big was he?
He was massive because he's goals, but as I keep telling Ali, you need people to provide you those chances for you to score goals. No doubt, he's a fantastic talent, and I think when we got him, he's a young lad, tinkering the edge, playing football. Which I mind saying to him at St Ambrose High School, this is ridiculous. You can't be thinking about no playing football. You're an actual finisher. But he was brilliant. He gets a lot of the plaudits for his goals, but there was a few chasing him. There was others that chipped in that really helped him, but he get the main plaudits for his really successful season.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about the quick turnaround as well. Obviously, the season finished towards the end of May, and we're in the middle of July. It's been a quick turnaround. How you kind of handled that? Has it been hard?
It's just like we've not stopped. Like me and Dolsey, the coaching team, we've not stopped. You're right into signing players again. You're then, what players are you targeting because of where you fit. So we've really not stopped. I think the boy said 3.5 weeks. I think Dolsey was getting a bit nervous. He was texting me saying pictures of calendars and stuff, saying, "Look, we need to get back in." And I'm saying, well, they need a break. Else they need a break, So it's not. We've not really stopped as a coaching team. The players had 4 weeks, and then we've been straight back into it. And to be fair, they've all come back in relatively good nick as well. So that's probably Dolsey's probably right not to leave it for another week just in case.
Nah, probably the right decision. Talk us a wee bit about your kind of transfer activity so far this summer. Who you brought in so far?
So we've brought in Big Andy McNulty for Kilsyth, centre midfielder. We brought Andy in. Who else? We've not brought many in actually. We brought Didi O'Donnell in. Didi was at West Calder. No West Calder. He was at Forth, but he was at Fauldhouse before that. We've always kind of looked at Didi, but we never knew he was a local boy. He's actually an Uddingston boy or a Tannockside boy. So good to get him. He adds a bit different as well. Mikey Archer, another centre midfielder. We played him like a winger at Royal Albert when we had him. He doesn't like playing there, so I've told him he's a centre midfielder till we get him in the door for a few weeks, and then we'll revert back. He'll not like me for saying that, but that's been us so far. We've got a couple of boys in trial, and the majority of the boys are signed for last year. So activity-wise, quite good. We'll be working with one of the lowest budgets in that league, but we know what we're working with, so just have to get on with that. We can't be using that as excuses if we're not competing. The boys competed against, Championship or Premier League sides now, last year, so we'll just have to get on with it. But don't think we needed too much. We didn't need too much. We're pretty settled, and we have been for a couple of years. So I'm hoping that theory will work for us, having a settled side at the start of the league. We'll see how that materialises. Yeah,
absolutely. What's pre-season been like so far? How good's it been to get some games under your belt?
Aye, fine. Really good. We won 6-1 last night against a good Christ amateur side. They knocked the ball about for fun. So that was a good workout. we played Cumnock first, which was a real workout. That's a different level. Gint said boys doing half park runs when we turned up. I couldn't believe it. But I suppose if you want to play at that, that top level and beyond, then you need to be doing stuff like that. So maybe the boys were saying to me, "Don't you be getting any ideas?" I think a couple of the boys actually came. I think they either came on or they started the game. So, but we lost 2-0. But it was a brilliant exercise and great to see that next level for the lads. They can cast their eyes on that, and if they've got any ambitions to go forward, they know what they need to do. And we beat West Calder 2-1 in a quite I wouldn't say fiercely contested, but it was a right competitive game. Against West Calder, we usually play them, always is, but the attendance has been brilliant. The games have been good so far. We can't really ask much more of them, to be honest with you. It's been pleasing to see.
Mm-hmm. It's obviously a very competitive league. And what's your kind of overall targets for the season? What's the ambition for the club this year?
Fourth bottom, and hope that they don't change any rules or we've got another team coming in, so 4 need to go down there. And people will laugh about that, but genuinely serious. Fourth bottom when I hear, and I mean, some of the wages you hear is probably hearsay, right? But when you hear some of the money that's getting bandied about for players, we're just not in that. We're not anywhere near that market. I'm fighting with committees for fivers for boys that got them a double promotion last year. I'm not even joking when I say that, but if we finish fourth bottom, that's an unbelievable achievement for Thorniewood and that size of club. But listen, I'm not going to sit here and kid on that we don't want to go in there and compete. We want to go in and compete and do as well as we can, and we believe we've got a squad that can compete. No saying we're going to win every week, but we believe we've got a squad that can compete with the teams at that level, just based on games we won last year. So we'll see. We won't get complacent, but we'll definitely hope to compete. And if we finish fourth bottom, I'll be delighted. The committee will probably not like me for saying that, but that's fine. I'll deal with that as it goes. But stay in the league will be our target for definite.
Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and best of luck for the season ahead.
No worries. Thanks again, Scott.